Hello, everybody. Welcome to this first episode on the podcast feed, Teens Talk Movies. And so I'm gonna put some out on the our other Teens Talk Movies feed to send everybody over here, but that one just got super cluttered, so now we're over here. So maybe you're finding us for the first time because it is a new feed, or maybe you're coming over from the old podcast feed. But if you don't know us. My name is Trevor, and we have my co-host.
My name is Trevor as well. I am Trevor.
No.
Yes.
You can't say that name.
Dang it.
What's your real name?
Matson. It's pronounced Mattison.
Well, since he's being a pain in the butt, his name is Atticus.
Hello.
So we've done something like what we're going to do before. So when we originally started the original podcast feed, it was a journey through super films, and we were watching through our goal is to watch through every superhero movie.
Which is going to be hard to do, but it'll be fun.
Well, yeah, and now we aren't just doing superhero movies. We're doing much, much more. So we are doing now on this feed, we are doing every Marvel movie, every DC movie, every Star Wars movie, every Star Trek movie, every Harry Potter movie, every Lord of the Rings movie, all the Indiana Jones movies, and the 3 Back to the Future movies.
It's
going
to be fun.
Throw in some extra comic book movies like The Mask and Hellboy and
yes, Hellboy, oh my goodness.
Sin City, stuff like that. Yeah, but not the David Harbour version because
No.
But
I can't hate on it since I haven't seen it, but it does look a little bad.
Yeah, I haven't really seen it either, but I'm still gonna hate on it.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna be watching through a whole ton of nerdy in quotation marks movies because it's what we are. So yeah. Are you ready to go? That's good because I'm not. But
nope.
We watched a movie, and it was called Batman. No, not the Michael Keaton one, the Adam West one.
No, not the George Clooney one.
Who's George Clooney?
I said George Clooney. You should not make fun of my lisp, Trevor.
Believe me, I'm going to.
Oh, shoot. I feel
so
ousted from society.
It wasn't the George Clooney one. It was the Adam West one from 1966. And oh, what a movie it was. So...
It was a movie.
It was a movie. So Atticus, do you have IMDb up?
On my phone? Yes, I do. Computer, no.
Do you want to go ahead? It was your job on the old show. Want to go ahead and talk to us about the movie?
Sure. Let me actually pull up the app because I lied. I did not have it up.
Liar. Yeah. And by the way, we're doing this over a Skype call because
1966. Hold on.
No, we aren't in 1966. It's never mind.
Right.
No, because coronavirus and we aren't going to gather in close quarters in my tiny basement studio.
Yes.
Because social distancing. Do you actually have IMDb up now?
Now I do.
Okay.
So, the cast, I always start with the cast. It is Adam West as Batman, Burt Ward as Robin, Lee Merriweather as Catwoman, and Cesar Romero as the Joker.
I cover all 4 of the villains because you also have Burgess Meredith as Penguin and Frank Gornish as Riddler.
True. I mean, I was just going through the top billed cast. But
okay, yeah. Yes, and then Alan Napier as Alfred. Neil Hamilton as Commissioner Gordon. I feel like that gives you the main ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was directed by Leslie H. Martinson.
Yeah, which I believe. Just a minute, let me check them. Keep on talking.
Okay. I won't go through their writing credits, but I mean,
nobody cares about writers.
Yeah. Let's see. It got 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb, which I agree with.
You agree with 6.5 out of 10? Well, we'll do our full ratings at the end. But really, 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah. It was released July 30th, 1966.
Movie release dates.
It's also known as
Batman the movie.
A bunch of...
Batman the movie is the main one.
Well, I mean, in Japan, it's just a bunch of lines.
Well...
I mean, I don't want to be racist, but that language looks like it's hard to, understand. Its budget was... Oh, wait, is there a budget on here?
No, this movie had no budget. It was made for $0, and you can tell.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, so there is... I'm just reading down here. I'm just going to take this from you.
Okay.
So there was originally going to be a sequel planned. And it would have been released between seasons 2 and 3 because this was, I think, released between seasons 1 and 2 of the show. And it would have introduced Barbara Gordon as Batgirl.
Ooh.
And then we also would have had a Batplane because we don't have enough Bat fill in the blank afterwards.
We need Bat repellent. Bat bug spray.
Bat bug spray.
Bat
obviously.
suntan.
But obviously that movie didn't get made because, this one was terrible.
Yes. Oh, I want to see how much money it made.
Yeah, me too. Because honestly, I was just thinking, this was 11 years before Star Wars New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how far did we advance? Like...
Yeah.
It made $1.7 million. So, nothing.
Whoa. That's a pretty bad.
It made literally nothing. Just a minute. Let me adjust it for inflation.
Do you guys want to know a few goofs or bloopers that happened?
Go ahead. I'm going to look up how much it is adjusted for inflation. And guys, just so you know, we aren't like a prepared podcast.
Nope.
Like, this isn't like we didn't have all this stuff looked up beforehand. We're looking stuff up right now.
It's more interesting that way.
You're going on this journey with us.
Yes. Okay. So, I'll just give you two. One is a continuity flaw. It's at around 9 minutes when Robin is handing Batman the shark repellent. The distance between the two of them changes between shots.
I did notice that.
I did recognize that. Let's see. Audio and visual flaw. At around 57 minutes, when Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman dehydrate some of their pirate flunkies, the Riddler can sometimes be heard laughing even though his mouth isn't moving. I did not recognize that.
Me neither. I'm just going to cut you off right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I'm cruel. So it adjusted for inflation, it would have made $12.9 million.
Whoa.
Which is still nothing.
Nope.
Like, honestly, I think the Playmobil movie made more than that.
What did Endgame make again?
About $3 billion.
Yeah.
So, like, let's look at even like Batman 1989 not adjusted for inflation. It made $411 million, not adjusted for inflation. Whoa. This adjusted for inflation made $12 million.
Wow, that's crazy.
Sigh. like superhero movies generally make around anywhere from like 800 million to like 1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Generally. So 12 million ain't gonna cut it. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Geez, Metacritic gave this a 71?
Yeah, it's interesting.
But anyways, you want to go into the plot? I feel like we're rambling right now.
Yes. Plot time. Plot.
Make a song. We need a plot song.
Plot time. Oh yeah, it's plot time.
Okay, I want that from you every episode. So it starts out with so Batman and Robin, they're like all just they're at the beginning of the movie, they're just like chilling in the police office, right? The police office. What's is it called a police office? It's not called an office.
Police officer office. Boom.
Headquarters? I don't know what it's called. But anyways, they're just kind of like chilling there, like it's their home. And then they get
No, it's Batcave for police officers. I just looked it up.
Oh, yeah.
That's what their headquarters is called.
On Wikipedia it says that it made $3.9 million, which still is nothing. Yeah, and its budget was $1.5 million.
Oh, dang!
So it made money. It made
money, but
according to Wikipedia, it made 2.4. According to IMDb, it made $100,000. So
you never can trust any of these sites.
I know, especially with these older movies, all the numbers are different.
You gotta be there. That's the thing.
Like,
let's try and talk.
We're gonna watch Back to the Future soon, and
exactly.
You know what? Back to the Future is a perfect movie, but
I've never seen the third one.
That's it's not bad.
It's not bad?
It's not bad.
Huh. I've heard people say it's bad. I've heard people say
worse than the other two Back to the Future movies.
The second one I liked a lot.
Me too. The first Back to the Future is great. The second one is pretty good. The third one isn't as good, but it completes a lot of character arcs. Like it really finishes out Marty's character arc. Anyways, we're off topic. We're talking about Batman, not Back to the Future. Atticus.
Oh, right.
Jesus.
My fault.
Idiot. No, I'm just kidding. Well, not really. Okay. So, but anyways, they're just chilling at the police offices, we're now going to call it, and they get a tip that Commodore Smeedlap, which somebody was probably on drugs when they came up with that name.
Haven't we referenced that in other episodes? I feel like we have.
Well, this is the first episode on this feed.
All right.
Like, we've done other shows together. But
last feed. Wait. How many feeds do we have?
No.
Too many to count.
Way too many. Anyways, this is one that we're going to focus on. The other one, if you go to the other Teen Slap Movies feed, there's still going to be, like, trivia and stuff on that.
Right.
But I'm probably going to change the name of that to just Nerd Film Trivia League.
Nerd Film Trivia League.
Yeah, anyways. We actually need to start talking about this movie.
Yes, okay. I'm done.
So anyways, so Commodore Smeedlap, he's in danger on the yacht. And I love the super fast deductive reasoning in this movie.
Oh, yeah, it's perfect.
It's just...
flawless.
It's a Riddler. And then, Russian people. They are Russians. Sure.
Well,
I'm glad, and then that it turns out to be, it turns out to be right. Like that, all of this
coincidence.
Yeah, like that, all of this. Like I feel like none of their deductive reasoning was actually right.
Yeah.
And they were just lucky enough to be in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, definitely.
Like with all of like Riddler's riddles, that wasn't actually what he was intending for them to get out of them. And then it just kind of so happened that they just kind of showed up, though.
They're just like, yo, kind of solved your riddle, but also didn't. Thank you.
Because, like, some of their answers are just so fast and make no sense. But, like, yeah, anyways, they go to the Batcopter.
Lazy writing.
Huh?
Lazy writing, if you ask me.
You think? But, yeah, they go to the Batcopter, and then Batman starts to descend on the Bat Ladder, as it's very clearly labeled in a giant tag at the bottom. And he starts to descend down the ladder onto the yacht. And then the yacht just vanishes beneath him.
Yep.
Which I know they explain later that it was like a mirage, but like, wasn't that thing like puffing smoke out at the top of it?
Yeah, it did not make sense. But, you know, what did in this movie?
Like, this just, it doesn't... this movie.
Gosh.
So it disappears beneath them. And then Jaws' plastic son just jumps out of the water.
Exactly.
And is...
I got you, Batman.
Here, can you keep on going with that British Jaws Jr.?
No.
Please? Okay.
You know about accents.
Yeah, I do.
You do it.
No,
yes.
you did it to begin with. I'm just saying. Anyways, but anyway, so this shark is terrible. Mm-hmm. So I watched this movie with my sister Claire, and then my mom was also sitting there, and my mom just had this look of disgust on her face.
I can relate.
It was just like, this is what they came up with for this? Really? Like, it's just that I feel like it. I'm at a loss for words for this scene. And guys, if you haven't already seen Batman 66, it's on Amazon Prime for like $3 to rent it right now.
Yeah.
So go ahead and check it out, and then at the end of this episode, we'll tell you what movie we're going to be watching and talking about next week, so that way you guys can, go on this journey with us as we journey through nerd films. But that ain't the title of the show. It's still Teen Talk Movies. Anyways.
Yep.
So the shark jumps out, and then it wraps onto his leg, and he was like, "Oh, the shark is on my leg," but then it isn't.
It threw me. Oh wait, no, it didn't.
Yeah, and then it. Like, there's no, bite marks on his leg. His leg is just fine afterwards, after being clamped on by a shark.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
It's not realistic.
Well, it's... I feel like that term isn't really valid for this movie, realism.
Yeah.
That just... There's no rules for this movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's... I don't know. I don't know.
But then anyways, Robin goes and grabs his shark repellent, or bat shark repellent, which, has to have bat in front of it. Wait, there's actually a Wikipedia link for shark repellent. It just says shark repellent. Anyways, but yeah, so Robin goes down, and then he's like, "Ooh, I'm a trapeze man," and hangs from his legs, and then gives Batman the shark repellent, and then Batman sprays it like a mosquito, and then the shark falls, and then explodes. Exploding sharks. Snakes on a plane. But then anyway, so Batman and Robin, they just head back. Batman's leg is perfectly fine after being clamped on by a shark. They go back to the police offices with Commissioner Gordon, where they miraculously deduce with Captain O'Hara that the tip was set up by the United Underworld, which they just happen to know the name of secretly. And then there's a secret TV. And then they're like, it's this person, and this person. What could it be? And then it's the Joker, the Penguin, the Riddler, and then Catwoman, who's like,
Manigram.
And then I love the scene later in the movie where everybody's fighting and she's disguised as Kitka, and then she just sits there and goes like, so funny.
Oh my
God. I absolutely lost it.
The sound effects are the best part of this movie.
Oh yeah, especially at the end. But we'll get there. So anyways, Batman, Robin, Captain O'Hara, and then Commissioner Gordon, they all figure it out just super easy. Yes. I mean, Captain O'Hara really wasn't in this movie that much, and Commissioner Gordon. More
screen time for Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
Going out and, Nope.
Petition signed. But then anyway, so the Joker... the Penguin, the Riddler, and the Catwoman all show up.
What was her name? It was like Catalina.
It's Kitka.
Yeah, but it stood for Catalina.
It was, here was her full name. This guy's name. We'll get to that later. But it was Kiriana Alina Tatiana Kerenska Alasov, which acronym to Kitka.
Now we need to just say that the whole time.
Okay, ready? We're gonna on 3. Kitiana, Ariana, Tatanya, Kerasinka, like kerosene, Alasov. Kitka. So, that's later. So then the 4 criminals, they all equip themselves with a dehydrator that can turn humans into dust. So, it turns humans into dust, which was an invention of Commodore Schmeedlap, who didn't know that he was being kidnapped. So they were on they made him think he was on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
How
it's an illusion, Michael.
But he was in the top floor of a bar.
I think it's just,
How do you make this man who's able to invent a dehydrator, something that still hasn't happened, back in 1966, not realize that he's not on a boat?
Persuasion?
Don't try and answer. There is no answer.
Charisma.
I mean, is the Joker charismatic, or is he just...
I'm the Joker, baby.
Nice. Now go get a Harley. Not the motorcycle.
You need to do a Harley impression now.
No. Oh, jeez.
Since I was Joker, you have to do Harley.
No. So then, anyways, they... well, okay, so I love this. So they escape in the war surplus submarine that was made to look like a penguin. Now that they have the dehydrator, and recruit 3 pirate henchmen: Bluebeard, Morgan, and Quetch.
Right.
So,
did they even get their names referenced, or were they just henchmen?
They were just henchmen. And then there was the 5 guinea pigs, labeled as guinea pig number 1, guinea pig number 2, guinea pig number 3, guinea pig number 4,
and
guinea pig number 5.
Wasn't obvious.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that they were just going to come in, with a legitimate guinea pigs.
You know what I think?
This movie's good.
I think this movie was made for little children.
See, but the show, I don't know. This was the first superhero movie.
Yes.
This is the thing.
You have to give it credit for that.
This is the first theatrically released superhero film. I'm not counting serials, because I know that there was the 1941 Captain America serial and then the Shazam serial from the late 30s.
Yes.
But as far as Marvel and DC theatrically released films, this was the first. But this movie is just so on the nose.
Yeah.
It also assumes that you're an idiot.
Yeah, basically.
Why going back to the Future? Why the first Back to the Future is so great is it's a perfectly written script. It doesn't tell you anything you already know, and it doesn't waste time on things that don't matter.
Exactly.
This is the opposite of that. It's a horribly written script. Who wrote this?
Let me see. I can actually look that up. Writers.
Lorenzo Semple Jr.
Hey, we said it at the same time.
Boom. We're smart.
Yes, we are very smart.
Yeah, debatable.
It's debatable.
But anyways, I also want to know how they got a war surplus submarine and then painted it like a penguin.
Yeah, I think that took. I think that's what guinea pig number 2's job was.
Oh right, yeah. Obviously, that there was a deleted scene. You can look it up on YouTube, and this is guinea pig number 2 with his army of actual guinea pigs running around with paintbrushes, making it look like a penguin.
Yep.
So if you want to go check that out, I'll put a link to the scene in the description.
Yep.
But anyways, Batman and Robin, they learned that the yacht was actually a holographic projection. They couldn't figure that out before when it disappeared.
What? No.
I love how at some parts they're as smart as Sherlock Holmes and they're figuring out all these mysteries, and then as other parts they're just the dumbest individuals on the planet.
Exactly.
Their intelligence changes to fit the story at different points in the story.
It's honestly confusing. It's so confusing.
Yeah, but then anyways, they go they get in their bat boat and get in front of a green screen and ride all the way to the buoy that was concealing the projector, which they somehow
green screens, or at least how movies
used to use green screens. Whenever they're in a car or a boat, they just put the camera right in front of it and then just use a green screen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it did not look good at all. But then anyways, they go get the buoy, and then get the projector off of it. And then they get trapped to the buoy by a magnet that's which... So they get trapped to the buoy by a magnet. And Clara, my sister, pointed this out as we were watching it. So the magnet was strapping... It was their metal belts that were strapping them to it, right? Clara goes, why don't they take off their belts?
Oh my gosh. That's a sensible thing to do, but it would kind of be weird if Batman told Robin to undress.
Robin, take off your belts. You know what? I think we just found out why they didn't do that.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Remove your belt, Robin. I have to do something.
Belt. Give it to me. Do it now.
We just got an explicit rating. Okay, we'll try and talk about the movie more and then go to a break. Because we obviously need it. But then anyways, they go and are targeted by torpedoes. But then they use a radio detonator to destroy 2 of the missiles. And then a porpoise sacrifices itself to intercept the last one.
Porpoise.
This dolphin just is like, I will save you, Batman! Huzzah! Like, what were they thinking? Like,
exactly. It's like, poor dolphin.
You know what we're going to do? Batman's not going to save the day. It's going to be a freaking porpoise. Like,
exactly. Like, we need to... R.I.P. porpoise.
R.I.P. porpoise. Save the porpoise.
Save the porpoises.
But yeah, so then anyways, they get back, and then Catwoman, described as Soviet journalist Katiana Arena Tatanya Keresinka Alisov. Acronym is Kitka. Which anybody with 5 names, don't trust them.
Exactly.
Like, that's just a rule of
4.
Survival.
I have 4.
Yeah, so you're safe.
Yep. Wait. Yeah, I have 4.
Okay. So Atticus, he's trustworthy.
Yep.
Kitka.
People with 5? Nope.
Yeah, no, don't trust them. Kids, don't trust people with 5 names.
People with 10? Now there's a bargain.
There's a bargain. Okay, anyway, Kitka helps the group kidnap Bruce Wayne and pretends to be kidnapped with him. So then it's a plot to lure Batman to finish him off with another one of Penguin's explosive animals, not knowing that Bruce Wayne is Batman's alter egos. Oh, those alter egos, they make up for such interesting stories. Don't you agree?
Yes, I agree.
So then anyways, classic alter ego story that, yeah. And then anyways, they're doing their thing. They're over there. And then Bruce Wayne fights his way out of captivity, and they're like, "Hey, where's Batman?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm Bruce Wayne, and I don't know." And then, he disguises himself. He disguises himself as Batman. And then Batman and Robin return. What? Sorry, I lost my spot in this. Me notes, aka Wikipedia. But yeah, so then Batman and Robin, they return to the United Underworld HQ only to find a smoking bomb. And now, this is the longest sequence, I think, ever of a man carrying a bomb.
Right. Oh my gosh.
This lasted for about 15 minutes of him running around this town trying to find a place to drop the bomb. And he's like, "Ooh, I'm going to run this way. Uh-oh, there's nuns. I'm going to run this way. Oh, there's people kissing under a bridge on a boat, so I can't put it in the water. Oh, now I'm going to run this way, and there's this band going like, oh, I'm going to run this way. Oh, the nuns are back again. Oh, no. Here, let me throw this off this bridge. Oh, there's a baby duckling. I can't do that." And then anyways, he's just running, and then it explodes. And we're like, "Oh, crap, Batman just died. You should have killed the nuns, man." But then, anyways, there had just happened to be these steel bars that protected him, which I don't know how that keeps you safe from a bomb.
Exactly,
I feel like bombs explode steel.
The logic in this is whack.
But then anyways, these just happened to be there and he hid behind them, and yeah, this was the hardest scene ever to watch. Anyways, we're going to go to a commercial break. Maybe by the time you're hearing this, we'll have actually recorded a commercial and you'll be able to hear something. If not, you'll just hear nothing. Are we going to do a commercial?
Yeah.
Okay. You'll hear one then, if, we actually remember. So, we'll go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with the second half of this thing. I'm not calling it a movie, because it doesn't. See you guys in a minute. Okay, guys, Trevor here from Teen Stock Movies. I'm interrupting the show, okay? But it's important, because I got to tell you about Anchor. So if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's how I do it, and I like easy. First of all, it's free. I also like free. There's creation tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole ton of other ones. Which is also good, because it's easy. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That's why I'm recording this ad, because I like money, and I hope you do too. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Okay, let's go back to the show. You're probably done hearing from me. Okay, bye. Okay, we're back. Maybe you just heard a commercial. Who knows? We were also just talking about, what we're actually going to do with the rest of the show and shows afterwards. But, yeah, so, should we keep on talking about this movie?
We have time.
Yeah, it's only 5:51. I haven't ate yet, but, I'm good.
Yeah, it's not like we have to, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're good. So, moving on. So yeah, he's running away. Then what happens? Oh yeah, so then Batman, he's like getting really mad, and then he eventually drops the bomb, and that's where we were. Got it.
Yes.
So then the Penguin, like the Wikipedia article makes it sound so dramatic, and he's like, Batman is met with the frustration of rushing all over the docks in hopes of locating a safe place to dispose of the bomb, but does so in the nick of time. Oh wow. Oh boy, the nick of time. So next,
I like how it's like 15 minutes passes and like the bomb doesn't explode.
I know, like it looked like it was about to explode when they were on like the fake boat. I also love
it. Explode on the fake boat.
No.
I wish it did explode on the fake boat.
I know. Anyways, I also noticed in the bar, like there's some people actually like sitting and like having food and a drink, and then there's some people that are like just like making out in the corner, and then other people that are beating each other up, and literally nobody cares.
Oh shoot, that's not how you run a bar.
Honestly, I don't think there was anybody there to run the bar.
Oh, that's true. I mean, it was the 60s.
You know who they needed to run that bar?
Who?
Wooher. You know who that is? Do you know who Wooher is?
No.
He is the bartender at the Mos Eisley Cantina in Star Wars.
Oh, okay, I should have known that.
He's a good bartender.
Yes. I was thinking of the guy with like 4 arms.
Oh, Dexter. Yeah, he'd also not be bad. I always confuse the name Wooher with Woohoo, which is a Mario Kart track. But anyways. Yeah. So, but anyway, so then the Penguin disguises himself as Commodore Schmeedlap, and Commodore Schmeedlap, and anyways, he schemes his way into the Batcave. So he's like, "Hey, I'm Commodore Schmeedlap," and Robin's like, "There's something not right here, Batman." And then he's like, "Holy disguise!" And then
holy disguise, Batman.
So okay, off topic again. Do you say Batman or Batman?
Batman.
Okay,
Batman.
I say Batman as well, but like so Christian Harloff, he runs the movie Trivia Schmodown. I hate how he says man at the end of superhero names. He says like Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men, Superman. It's so weird. He's not even British. I don't get it. Even like Spider-Man, like it's like hello, it's Pete Spider-Man. Like it's like a last name. Doesn't make any sense.
I would get really annoyed with that guy.
Good dude though. The Spider-Man wrong, which obviously makes him a horrible man.
He doesn't say Spider-Man like my brother used to say.
Yeah. Should we keep talking about this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, Penguin tricks them somehow into thinking he's Commodore Schmeedlap. I don't know how, even though Batman literally just got out of talking to Penguin.
Exactly.
Like, same thing with Catwoman. All she's wearing is literally, like, kitty eyes over her eyes, and then you still don't figure out that it's Kitka.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seriously, dude?
Like,
again, sometimes Batman's super intelligent and figuring out all these riddles in, like, 10 seconds with, like, answers that shouldn't even be humanly possible to think of. And then he's just a complete idiot sometimes. Like, every character's, and the villains too, every character's intelligence changes to fit the needs of the story.
Yeah.
At different points throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's really annoying.
Yeah, I was just looking at a picture of Robin. He only has like things to cover his eyes, like a bandana kind of thing.
Yeah.
To cover his eyes, and it's like, bruh, you don't see that it's. You don't see.
You don't see. Yeah. You don't see the light, and then
this would be
you die. Okay, so then
he's Dick Grayson, right?
Yeah, it's Dick Grayson in this movie
because he's the first.
Yeah,
and then Jason, then
Jason Todd, yeah.
Yes, and then his son Damien, I think. No, then it's Tim.
Right.
And then it's Damien, his son.
Okay. Yeah, you know more. You know a lot more about like the comics of DC than me.
Yeah, I actually have a poster up right now.
Oh, nice.
All 4 Robins.
Nice. The guy who Mena Massoud, who played Aladdin, has expressed interest in playing Robin.
Yo,
or Nightwing.
He should.
I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he wants to do a Nightwing movie. Mena Massoud.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. I wholeheartedly agree.
Well, I've made Atticus a happy boy. Now I should continue talking about this movie. Yeah. So then, anyways, so they can't figure out it's Penguin, and then Commodore Smeedlap. Well, Penguin as Commodore Smeedlap. Wah.
We sound like Waluigi.
Waluigi. But no, Penguin actually does sound a lot like Waluigi.
Waluigi.
Like, seriously, though. Penguin, when he's like, wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just, this movie's so on the nose. Like, guy named Penguin has a long nose and makes penguin noises.
Mm-hmm.
I also love in the United Underworld, like, HQ, how, like, everybody has their thing labeled, like, penguin food, jokes, riddles, catnip. Like, in big block letters by their little cubbies.
Yeah.
Like, everything in this movie, again, it assumes that you're an idiot and, like, have, like, or, like, you're 90 years old and can't see anything. Yeah, like, everything in this movie is massively labeled. And, like, when they're sorting through, like, the different things at the end of the movie, like, the different grains, like, they just happen to have a grain molecule separator laying around, plainly labeled.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, who has one of those?
People.
So, yeah. So then, so they at this point they've already like done the thing like with their guinea pigs, you know, and clearly labeled guinea pigs and turned them into like little dust piles, and then they sort them all up, and then, one thing that I don't get though, why would you do that on carpet?
Yeah, like...
Why would you reduce someone to dust on a carpet and then try and, like, scoop it all up?
Like, that's just a mess for a janitor. Like, bruh.
Do it on, like, cement. Mm-hmm. So you can actually, like, you know? Like, when you're trying people into dust, you gotta be smart about it.
Do it right.
Yeah. I know I do. But then yeah, so then when he's in there, he uses a rehydrator, which again, they have perfectly labeled and just laying around. So Commodore Smeedlap does it to try and he takes the little vials and tries to turn them into, back into people, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, but whenever they're struck, they turn into antimatter, right? Because of the science in this movie, where if you turn someone to dust, because that's what happens when you take out all the water, they turn into dust. And then when you pour dust on that water, or pour water on that dust, same thing.
Wait a minute.
Then you turn back into a person. But then if you don't do enough water and then you get hit, then you just disappear.
Whoa.
Like,
Science with Trevor. I'm Trevor.
Like, this movie doesn't make the science in this movie, the logic doesn't make any sense. Like, also, okay, so let's just hypothetically say, like, ignoring that pouring water on dust makes humans. Mm-hmm. If anything touches them, they will get, like, turned into antimatter and just disappear.
Yeah.
First of all, they were touching their clothing.
What?
And that clothing wasn't like, and even like the floor or like air, like anything. If we're going with actual science, even though this doesn't actually fall under actual science, anything they touch, anything that's not antimatter should turn them into. I don't know. I'm trying way too hard to try and make actual sense out of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, this movie wasn't supposed to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it was toxic heavy water used to recharge the Batcave's atomic pile, leaving them highly unstable. Which again, you just have a toxic heavy water laying around because who doesn't? Not me. Yeah. Ooh, here's some fun trivia. Off topic. Because we're gonna get to the end of this movie, which this movie it feels like should have already ended by now, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Do you know?
An hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, I know. It feels so much longer. Do you know at the end of the movie? Do you know who the president of the U.S. is? I think it's 1966.
Ben. Why do I want to say Hoover? Was it?
Van Williams voiced him.
Dan who?
Van Williams voiced him. Because
in Batman?
Yes, in Batman 1966, you see President. I almost said it, but you see the president of the U.S. at the end of the movie.
Huh.
You can take a guess?
I'm totally blanking. No. What was it?
It was Lyndon B. Johnson. 1966.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, okay, back to the plot. Back to the plot. Wait, plot song, please.
Plot time. Oh, yeah, it's plot time.
Cool. So, Batman and Robin, they're unable to prevent the kidnappings of the United World Organization Security Council.
Yep. Sounds right.
So, I love, this, this movie. So, first of all, we missed the part where, Penguin takes this car that he takes the Batmobile from Batman and Robin, and they took this penguin gas repellent pill right beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, why do you have one of those?
Exactly, and why is it labeled
penguin gas repellent pill? But regardless, they had one.
Mm-hmm.
And then they still get knocked out and the car stolen from them. And then as soon as the penguin leaves with the car, the pills start to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was the point of the pills? It did nothing for you.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
So then, anyways, then there was also a part where Bruce and Kitco went on a date.
Oh, yeah.
And they fell in love, and then Kitco went back. I'm trying to make this as short as possible because I don't want to think about this movie.
Yeah.
It hurts my brain to think about the logic in this movie. Mm-hmm. It hurts my brain. But then, anyways, so yeah, they go on a date and stuff and whatever that happens. And then, anyways, they... so I also love... So after Penguin takes off with the car, the Batmobile, their pills all of a sudden kick in. And then, right off to the side of the road, at that exact spot, there's a hidden bat bike.
Coincidence?
It just happened to be right there. Like, do they have one of those located every mile on every street of Gotham? And if so, how has nobody ever found one?
Oh my gosh, this is insane. This movie's like...
And then also I love how at the end they're riding to their Batcopter, right?
Yeah.
Because it couldn't just be a helicopter. And then at the last little stretch of runway before they're getting into their helicopter, Batman deploys he goes, go-kart, deploy, and then Robin rides off. Instead of like a sidecar, it's a go-kart that Robin rides up to the helicopter in for about 10 feet.
Poor Robin.
He drives in the thing for 10 feet. It was like, what was the point of that? What was the point? To sell toys? Probably. But, so then anyways, they take off, and they start flying this plane, and then there's this missile launched up at them.
Yes.
And then, so first of all, the launching of the missile was stock footage. It wasn't actually like, they didn't shoot that, or anything.
I remember we were like, wait, is this just footage of like, yeah. It was very poorly directed.
So then anyways, what they do is they take the missile going up into the air, crop out everything else, and then play that video over a flying helicopter to make it look like the missile hit the helicopter. Which, first of all, so the helicopter should have just exploded. But then anyways, Batman and Robin, they're flying down, they're like, oh no, we're crashing. And then it lands on a foam sail that happens to be going on, and it lands on the foam.
Oh my gosh.
Because, and they're like, wow, this is lucky that we landed on this foam. Oh yeah, it is. And then, like, seriously, this movie is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
The logic in this. And then anyways, they're like, should we go get the Batmobile? Because they're, at this point, Joker and Catwoman and Penguin and Riddler, they're all taking off to kidnap the United World Organization Security Council, which is a super long name. But then anyways, they're like, no, we'll be faster on foot. And then they run in front of a green screen. You can't even run on location. Green screen. And then I also love, this is something else that Clara pointed out, it's like, we'll be faster on foot. And then you see them running, and they look so slow.
Yeah, like I wish I could show you what my action is, but it was just me throwing my hands up.
Cool. So, but then anyways, they eventually get there, and then the Penguin, like, sneaks in, through, like, this underwater canal, and then goes up through this unworking elevator, and then he starts spraying his penguin gas everywhere, which I think is just his farts trapped in a bottle. I may be mistaken, though.
I mean, that would make sense, but
it's knocking people out. Penguin farts don't smell good. But anyways, he and then he takes out his umbrella and like spins it around to spread it everywhere. He don't have a gas mask on.
How is he not going to be affected by it?
Nope. I mean, and at first I thought, well, maybe it's penguin gas, so like penguins can't be affected by penguin gas, right?
I mean,
but then later in the movie, like a couple minutes later, the four of them, him, Penguin with Joker, Catwoman, and Riddler, they're all like, okay, to get through this gas, we have to hold our breath. And then they go, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then I just pictured the Pink Panther theme playing, like, do-do, 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 do-do. As they're creeping through the people, But then, anyways, yeah, that just makes no sense. And then Batman and Robin show up, and they're like, oh no, we're too late. And then they try and, like, run after them. And then by the time they get there, so, like, all of the world leaders, they're all yelling at each other, and they don't realize that they're all being turned into dust.
Yes. And then they're like, not me.
And then they take off.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Okay. And then, anyways, they take off in the Batboat because they took the vials onto their submarine penguin thing. So, yeah. And then and then also, like, the Navy sold them their penguin boat. So why does the Navy have a penguin boat? But anyways, and Batman's like, you're so irresponsible. Don't sell penguin boats to people who don't leave their addresses. Which I feel is like a metaphor in some ways for kids don't do drugs, but I may be reading too much into this.
No, I think you're right.
Okay. Or maybe crime doesn't pay, one of the two. Those are Batman's two messages. But then anyways...
Crime doesn't pay, kids.
Yeah. But then anyways, so Robin uses like a sonic charge weapon to disable the Penguin submarine because and then anyways the vials, like it looks like the vials are gonna fall, but for some reason they're like glued to the middle of it somehow, so there's like, whoa, we're gonna fall, nope, back to the middle, defying gravity. And anyways, they go down, the penguin boat comes up, and then they all start fighting, and then words start appearing. Pow, bam, splash, boom, kapow.
Zorp.
Oh yeah, Zorp. That was a nice one. Kathwap. Kathwap was pretty cool. But then anyways, Kick-Ass left Catwoman because she's now revealed. She hasn't revealed yet. So Catwoman, because they were originally going to go back to rescue Kitka, but then, Kitka wasn't there because she's Catwoman, in case you haven't caught on yet. And then, so then when they're all fighting, everybody's like thrown off, and then Batman and Robin run in after Catwoman because Catwoman's kind of like trying to take off with the vials. Catwoman trips on air, falls on her face, her mask falls off, she looks up and Batman's like, oh, Kitka, and then he starts dreaming, and then it's like all sad, and he's like, we went on a date, I was love, and now you're a villain. And then like, I love how she just trips on air.
Yeah, that's I mean,
oh, that was a particularly hard bit of air, I'm going to fall on my face, wow.
It's like a glitch in the Matrix.
I know. And like how throughout the movie she'd just go like meow, meow. So weird. Meow. But then anyways, they're gonna go get the vials, and then Commodore Schmidlab, I think, like trips on air, and it falls, and then knocks over all the vials, and then he sneezes on them.
Yeah.
And spreads it all everywhere. But then they get back to their bat cave, and then they just happen to have a super molecular dust separator laying around, because who doesn't? And then they filter the dust because all of them have different colors. Even when previously seen in the film with the guinea pigs, they were all the same color.
Continuity flaw question?
Yep. But then so what ends up happening is they end up separating it all, which, first of all, how do you find it all? This dude sneezed on it. These are little pieces of dust. They would have went everywhere. But they managed to find it all.
Impossible.
Uh-huh. And then Robin...
imagining him picking it
up. Robin asks him, like, if it might be in the world's best interest for them to alter the dust samples so humans can no longer harm one another. And Batman's like, they cannot do so. The Penguin's henchmen and their tainted rehydrations, and we can only hope for people in general to learn to live together peacefully on their own. Which, I mean, Batman, seriously, like, take your opportunity when you got one, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the lesson everybody has to learn.
Like, I know that you're trying to be noble, but it would also be noble if you made world peace.
Yo.
Just saying.
You just ask Santa for it.
I'm just picturing Batman sitting on Santa's lap now. Santa, take off your belt. But, it's a callback if I've ever seen one. But, so then they rehydrate all of them, but they're restored, and the whole world is watching. And then they're restored alive and well, and continue to argue amongst themselves, totally oblivious to everything. And like somehow this is being live streamed or I guess it wasn't live streamed, never mind. But there is points earlier in the film when Batman and Kitka are on their date, and there's just somehow like a live stream camera following them around so Robin and Alfred can watch. So I don't know where they're getting their live stream cameras in the 1960s hovering on some drones that nobody notices. But
visible.
Yeah. It's called a film camera. There is a couple people behind that, including a director. And
Yep.
But yeah. So then they're all rehydrated. But here's something interesting though, and I have a theory about this. They all start arguing in another country's language.
Yes.
So
how is anything being...
So, just a minute. So Batman, he quietly expresses his sincere hope to Robin that this mixing of the mind is more good than it does harm. And then they're like, we also leave incognito. Hopefully nobody notices. And then they're like, yo, we just can go out this window. Like, that's incognito, right? Like, nobody's going to see us climbing down this window from the outside. Obviously. Nobody's going to see us. Absolutely nobody. But then anyways, they go down, and then there was an earlier point in the film when they were trying to, like, climb up this rope, and they weren't even trying to make it seem like they were climbing up. Like, you could very obviously tell that they were just walking on flat land, and that the cameras just turned sideways. Like, they weren't even trying to make it seem like they were climbing up a wall. So, but anyways, so my theory on why all the language has changed, I call it the booger effect. I think that when Commodore Smeedlap sneezed on all the vials, I think that mucus alters the mind, and that it changed them all to speak different languages.
Huh. Wait. Wouldn't they already speak different languages if they were already representing their country?
Well, no. So the English dudes started speaking like Japanese, and the Japanese dudes started speaking Russian. And...
Huh.
So I think it was Commodore Smeedlap snot. But that's just me. Anyways,
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I know I'm right. But anyways, that's it with the plot. So we're gonna do a plot song to finish this up.
Plot. Oh yeah, it's plot time. Trevor, come on. Time.
Put some heart into it. Like plot. Come on, it's plot time. Oh yeah, plot time. Come on, it's plot time. Plot. That's all I get.
No, you need to keep singing. I'll just keep saying plot over and over again.
No, we're going to take a break, and then we'll be coming back with the end of the show with our ratings, and then our nerd film Oscar nominations. Ooh, fancy. So yeah, we'll be back with another ad break, and hopefully you aren't tired of us yet. See you guys in a minute. Okay, we're back. So Atticus, we're going to do some like nerd Oscar things. But then we're also going to give our rating out of 10 of this movie. So, do you want to do ratings first or do the Oscars first?
Oscars.
Nice. Okay. I was going to do Oscars no matter what you said. Because...
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, anyway, so how...
It doesn't matter? Question mark?
No, it really doesn't. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
It does matter, but only when I want it to matter. No, I'm just...
Buddy.
I'm just kidding.
Whoa there, buddy.
I'm just kidding. It's supposed to be a joke.
Okay. I like jokes, but this one wasn't funny. Did not laugh. Would not recommend.
So, we are going to do our nerd film Oscars. So for each movie that we're going to do, we're going to nominate, for each of the movies, we're going to nominate Best Film, which we're going to wait for Best Film because we'll give it a rating, and then, we'll have different number ones throughout, and then we'll keep rankings of the films.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, Best Film and Best Director are going to be obvious. Best Film is going to be Batman, 1966, and Best Director is going to be Leslie H. Martinson for Batman 1966. So that's pretty obvious. We'll do our rating of the movie to finish out the show. But for Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, what do we got? So let's start with Best Supporting Actor.
Hold on 1 second.
So let me know who you have for Best Supporting Actor from this movie. So there's a couple choices. I mean, you have Burt Ward for Robin, Cesar Romero for Joker, Burgess Meredith for Penguin, or you could consider Robin a lead. Depends on what you want to do. Okay. So you have Cesar Romero for Joker, Burgess Meredith as Penguin, Alan Napier as Alfred, Neil Hamilton as Commissioner Gordon, and Frank Gornish as Riddler. And then if you determine that Robin is a lead, Burt Ward is Robin is a lead, then But yeah, so okay, let's say on 3 who we have for best supporting actor, who we thought had the best performance. Okay, on 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. Burgess Meredith for The Penguin is Mine. Who do you have?
Alan Napier.
Alan Napier for Alfred? Okay.
Yeah.
Alfred... I just kicked my table.
Whoa.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and talk about Alan Napier for Alfred?
Yeah. Even though he didn't got...
He didn't got Atticus. Back to grammar school.
I said even though he didn't have that much...
Okay. I heard something else, but go ahead.
What?
I heard he didn't got, but go ahead.
Okay, buddy.
I'm not going to be your teacher.
I just know I think he was sweet and he played the Alfred part well.
He did.
But I mean, I have to give it to Lee Merriweather as well. She did.
Is she an actor though? We're talking about best supporting actor.
Oh wait, why did you nominate her then?
I said Burgess Meredith as Penguin.
Oh, I thought you said Merriweather at the end. My bad.
No.
Okay.
But no, Alan Napier is a solid Alfred. I just didn't think that he had that much. So
yeah.
I actually considered Robin a supporting actor, but I didn't give it to him because you're between Burt Ward as Robin and Adam West as Batman for best actor, right?
Yes.
Okay. So mine is quite obvious right now. It's Adam West as Batman, but but no. So why I went with Burgess Meredith is because I feel like he was the only one that really knew what movie he was in. He completely, he wasn't trying to treat this seriously.
Yeah.
He just did his weird penguin noises, and I just felt like he had fun with the part, not trying to take it too seriously. Whereas everybody else, I feel like, was trying to make this like a serious film.
Yeah.
When it didn't need to be.
It's supposed to be goofy.
Yeah. So I felt like Burgess Meredith actually got what movie he was in. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. For the Oscar. So, okay, so I went with Burgess Meredith, you went with Alan Napier. So, for Best Supporting Actor, so we'll see if that changes with our next movie, which I will announce what the next movie on the list is, what we'll be doing next week, is at the end of the show, so that way you guys can also watch along with it. Hopefully it'll be every week. If it's every other week, then so be it. But anyway, so now we go to Best Supporting Actor. So, Lee Merriweather as Catwoman was the only real actress in this film. It's just whether we consider her supporting or lead, whether we want to do Best Supporting or Best Lead Actor. So, want to announce Best Supporting, so we can also say no one if we want to for Best Supporting. Okay?
Okay, hold on.
So, Best Supporting Actress. The only choice is Lee Merriweather. Is just whether we want to do her for Best Supporting or Best Lead Actress. So, 3, 2, 1. I got Lee Merriweather as Catwoman. How about you?
I don't know. It's hard to choose.
But
I'd say Lee Merriweather. Yeah,
it's so hard to pick out of all the female actresses in this film.
Yeah, it was close.
I know.
Close call. Between
her and there's Madge Blake as Aunt Harriet Cooper.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah. No. Okay, but no. So we're both having. So we aren't going to do a Best Actress for this film.
Okay.
Because I feel like unless you want to have Lee Merriweather as Best Actress, because I feel like she's more of a supporting.
Okay, I can see that too. Yeah.
And then we'll just leave Best Actress open for further films, which I feel like will definitely be taken up in the next movie. But we'll announce that later. Okay, so now Best Actress gonna be blank. So we both agree Lee Merriweather, Best Supporting Actress for this film. So now Best Actor. So Best Lead Actor.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Adam West. Burt Ward, really?
Yeah, I feel like Robin did a better job than Batman.
Okay, I thought about it, but I feel that I don't know.
Dang, we're disagreeing.
Yeah, I go ahead. Why do you pick Burt Ward?
I pick him because I think he played the goofy part of Robin. I don't think he's supposed to be, in the know all the time. But yeah, I felt like he played Robin well.
Yeah.
He played that character, which is like, sidekick. He played a good sidekick character.
Okay. I don't know. I'm going back on what I originally said. I don't know if he's a lead, but if he's a lead in your mind, then
he's the lead in my mind.
Okay.
And you can't change my mind.
I can sure try, but I won't put that effort into this. But then yeah. So then I don't know. I'm going with Adam West because I feel like he may be the only real lead.
Okay.
I almost think that Lee Merriweather is more of a lead than Burt Ward.
Really?
Because of all of her stuff as Kitka.
Interesting.
I think she's more of a lead, if not as much of a lead as Burt Ward. But I left her at supporting, so yeah, I'm going with Adam West as my best actor. But anyways, those were our Nerd Film Oscars for Batman 1966. And now is the two things you have been waiting for. Our ratings and what we're going to be watching next week. So please try and, watch these movies with us so that way you actually know what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
So ready to do our rating out of 10. Decimals are included. Ready?
Okay. Hold on.
Here we go. And then we'll make a ranking out of, we'll do the average as, our rating for this movie, the Teen Stock Movies rating for this movie, and then we'll have, a ranking list. So.
Okay.
Ready? We'll say it on 3. Our ranking for this movie. 1, 2, 3, 4.4.
Strong 5.
A strong 5. Okay, I went with 4.4. So, 5. Overall thoughts on this movie and why you went with a 5.
Overall thoughts, I think maybe the costumes was the best part of this movie.
Okay, the costumes were super comic accurate, and the costumes actually fit this movie.
Yes, that's another reason why I bumped it up one more. Because I was going to do originally a strong 4.
No decimals?
Huh?
No decimals for you?
Nope.
Don't like them?
Okay. Another overall thought is that if it just had better writing, it was done in maybe a little later time, I bet could have been amazing.
I wouldn't go as far as amazing. I would go as far as passable as a film.
Okay.
You're just like, well, that's an opinion. Okay, moving on.
Did I ask for your opinion? Nope, I did not.
Okay, well, okay. That's fair. It's my show. No, I'm just kidding.
I gave it a 5. A strong 5 it was a fun movie.
Yes. So, no, I'm with 4.4. I'm a little bit more judgmental on movies as you. It was not a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
It is enjoyable at parts. But if you go into this just looking for something funny and dumb, then it serves that purpose. And I agree, the costumes were good. And honestly, as weird as the character is in this film, I do think that Lee Merriweather wasn't a bad Catwoman.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, and she was honestly, again, I feel like there's if we're breaking it down, I feel like Adam West is the main lead, and then there's Burt Ward and Lee Merriweather that are kind of in between a lead and then a supporting character, and then the Joker, Penguin, and Riddler and Alfred are all supporting characters. But she was in there quite a bit as Kitka and Catwoman, and her performance was not bad.
No, not at all.
I wouldn't say great. But it wasn't bad. I mean, we'll have to compare her to future Catwoman. So Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway.
Yes, Anne Hathaway was pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, so I went with a 4.4. You went with a 5.0. That means that the Teen Stock Movies rating of this film is a 4.7.
Ooh.
So, So then we'll see how that compares to next week's movie, which is Drumroll, Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah.
So we'll be watching a much better movie next week, Star Wars: A New Hope. So if you guys want to do that, it's free on Disney Plus right now. Let me check and see if you can find it anywhere else. Where else can you watch it? It is free on Disney Plus, and then everywhere else it's $20. So Disney Plus is the way to go. Or obviously if you own it. But as far as streaming,
if you're a real Star Wars fan,
yes, like me.
And me.
Yes, but no. So if you guys want to watch it, I would highly suggest it because you'll get more in the loop on what we're actually talking about. But yeah, Star Wars: A New Hope is the movie that we're watching next week. We're jumping 11 years in the world's timeline. But so I'm thinking that Star Wars: A New Hope will receive a higher than a 4.7 from us.
For sure.
It's just a sneaking suspicion. I also think it might take over every single category.
Oh, yeah.
No, maybe not Best Supporting Actress for Lee Merriweather because I think I'm going to list Carrie Fisher as a Best Actress rather than Best Supporting. Mm-hmm. And there really isn't that any other actresses. So Lee Merriweather might keep Best Supporting Actress, but everything else might be taken over.
Oh, yeah. I'm betting on it.
Yeah. Who you going to bet with?
I'm not going to say.
Okay, well, you just let me know.
You'll have to tune in next week on... What's the show called again?
It's called Teen Talk Movies.
Right. Teen Talk Movies. Yeah.
That was terrible. You'll just have to tune in next week on. That's this called. But yeah, no, so anyways, this has been episode 1. I just hit my knee really hard. But so this has been episode 1 of the show, Batman 1966. Next week is Star Wars: New Hope. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you come back for next week. This, much like Batman 1966, is not a very serious podcast. It is not planned out. It just kind of happens. We watch a movie, and we talk about it. Sometimes we don't even talk about the movie.
Yeah, we improvise.
But this is kind of a taste of what the show is going to be. If you like it, cool. Listen to more. If you don't, you have no sense of humor. So, that has been all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you tune in next week for Star Wars: New Hope for episode 2. But, thank you so much. You can also email us at teenstalkmovies@yahoo.com. Or you can send in a voice message, which is, you can do that somehow. So, I think it's on like our Anchor page or Anchor app or whatever.
Yes.
So, I don't know what days this is going to come out, but we're going to try and do it every week on that day. So whenever that is.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
So, stay safe, everybody, and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.